Caitlin Clark joined Sunday Night Basketball for 2 NBA games. Caitlin Clark is headed to the NBA, at least for a couple of nights. NBC announced Tuesday that Clark, the Indiana Fever star with an enormous following within the game, is joining the network's pregame coverage for its debut of Sunday Night Basketball.
Just when you thought the Caitlin Clark phenomenon couldn't possibly get any bigger. Just when you assumed she was laying low and recharging for the upcoming WNBA season, NBC drops a bomb that sends shockwaves through the entire sports world. Welcome back. Today isn't about rumors or guesswork. This is a confirmed, game-changing move that puts Caitlin Clark right at the center of the biggest stage. In American sports, the NBA, yes, you heard that right. Caitlin Clark is officially crossing into the NBA world. Not as a player, obviously, but as the face of NBC's massive relaunch of Basketball Night in America. This is enormous. Think about the timing. Think about the strategy. NBC is bringing the NBA back after decades. They've got the rights. They've got the nostalgia. They've got the round ball rock theme. But they still needed something else. They needed a bridge. Something or someone to connect the old-school Jordan-era fans with a younger Gen Z audience. And who did they choose? Not LeBron. Not Steph. They chose the 22-year-old phenom from Iowa who has completely transformed women's basketball.
Garden. The debut. They picked her to kick it off. Not, yeah, it'll do a couple weeks and then you'll come in. No. We need you to launch this thing, dude. We need you to kick this off. See?
Let's break down the details, because this is where it gets fascinating. Caitlin will make her debut on February 1st. Leading into Lakers versus Knicks at Madison Square Garden. You literally cannot choose a bigger stage than that. The Mecca of basketball. LeBron James, New York City. And Caitlin Clark on the mic. It's a marketing masterclass. She'll be joining a studio panel stacked with legends Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. 3 Hall of Famers. 3 of the greatest scorers ever. And right next to them sits Caitlin Clark, breaking down the game, reading plays, and sharing her basketball mind with millions. So why is NBC doing this? Let's be honest, it's not charity. She's a ratings machine. We've already seen this play out. During her college run, NBC put one of her record-breaking games behind a Peacock paywall and people subscribed in droves just to watch her. They know the Caitlin Clark effect is real, and they're betting on her to bring that same obsessed fanbase to their NBA coverage. They're using her star power to launch their most expensive and important sports property. That tells you everything about where she sits in the sports hierarchy right now. She's not just a WNBA player, she's a global brand. But there's another layer here. Look at the dates. February 1st, then again March 29th for Knicks vs Thunder. These aren't random. February hits right before All-Star Weekend. March lands just before the WNBA season ramps up. That keeps her visible, relevant. It keeps the Indiana Fever and the league in the conversation during the off-season. And then there's the elephant in the room. The potential WNBA lockout. If the season gets delayed like many insiders expect, this NBC role could expand. Caitlin could become a regular presence on Sunday nights, essentially the face of basketball on TV, while labor talks drag on. For her, it's brilliant. For NBC, it's insurance. Now imagine the chemistry on that set. Vince Carter, the greatest dunker ever. T-Mac, one of the smoothest scorers in history. Melo, the king of the mid-range. And then Caitlin, the queen of the logo 3. The conversations about scoring, spacing, and reading defenses are going to be basketball heaven. You can already picture the viral moments. Caitlin asking Melo about the jab step. Vince asking her about range. And maybe the most powerful part? Watching NBA legends treat her as an equal. That alone will shift how millions view the women's game. Interview for 50.
About what might be coming during Clark's debut appearance, we're hoping to have Caitlin with a basketball in her hand. That's not a tease. That's not a tease. Not teasing the shoe, right?
And speaking of viral moments, NBC producer Sam Flood dropped a huge tease. He said they hope to have Caitlin holding a basketball on set. Now think about what that could mean. A shooting contest if Reggie Miller drops by? A breakdown of her mechanics? And this is what has the internet buzzing. Could this be the debut of her signature shoe? Nike has been unusually quiet. What better place to unveil the most anticipated shoe of the year than national TV? Madison Square Garden, millions watching? That would be an all-time marketing flex. Some critics will say she's too young, that she lacks experience. But let's be real, she's been in front of cameras her entire career. She crushed the Manningcast-style Final Four broadcast. She jumped into the Yankees booth and held her own. She's comfortable. She's sharp. And her basketball IQ is ridiculous. She sees angles and passing lanes most people don't. Bringing that perspective to an NBA broadcast feels fresh. It's exactly what NBC needs to separate itself from the robotic analysis fans complain about. This move also tightens the connection between the NBA and WNBA for years. They've felt like separate worlds. But putting the face of the WNBA on NBA broadcasts builds a bridge. It tells NBA fans, if you trust her analysis, maybe you should watch her play. That's cross-promotion at its best. WNBA viewership is already climbing fast. Exposure like this on Sunday nights could send it into overdrive when the season tips off. And from a business standpoint for Caitlin, this is elite. She's already partnered with Xfinity, owned by Comcast, NBC's parent company. The synergy makes sense. But the speed of execution is impressive. She's stacking income streams, building a post-playing resume at 22, and establishing herself as a media personality while still in her prime. Most players wait until retirement to do that. She's doing it while she's arguably the most famous athlete in America. So what should we expect February 1st? Energy, real basketball analysis. And NBC treating her like a centerpiece, not background noise. Expect her breaking down the Lakers' offense, critiquing passing lanes, analyzing footwork. Her style fits today's NBA perfectly: pace, space, high-volume threes. And then there's the cool factor. Let's be honest. Pre-game shows can feel stale. Same voices, same stories. Caitlin brings youth, relevance. She speaks the language of the next generation. NBC wants the TikTok crowd and Caitlin Clark is the cheat code. Bottom line, this is a win across the board. A win for NBC, a win for the NBA, a massive win for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. February 1st is going to be historic. Mark it down. Basketball night in America just got a whole lot more interesting, and something tells me this is only the beginning of Caitlin Clark's takeover of sports media. Now I want to hear from you. Are you tuning in just to watch Caitlin? Do you think she'll outshine the Hall of Famers on the desk? I think she might. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.